What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Dak No Prescott. Get it? Because Dak Prescott, the quarterback for the y'all didn't. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it. Oh well. Ring lights on. See the glare in my eyes. Who cares? I actually am wearing a Nationers hoodie. It's faded as heck, but shout out to Jared. This is his merch. I bought it. And my college hat. And on the topic of college, this story time is going to be about school, but not college. It's going to be when I was in high school. It's a high school story. Ignore my voice. I'm kind of losing my voice right now, so deal with it. High school. I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. So yeah, welcome to the story time. This is the time about how I got kicked out of geometry in 10th grade. So in 10th grade, I had a geometry class. I'm pretty sure it was geometry. It couldn't have been algebra. It was like geometry. And I had this teacher. We're going to call him Mr. B, right? I'm just explaining how I got kicked out of this class. It wasn't... okay, hold up. Before I get deep into the story, let's do a little bit of backstory about me as a high schooler. Even me now, I'm still this... I like to joke and have fun. And I do. I like to say crazy stuff just to see what people say. But people take everything seriously. Like I'll say something dumb, like, you know, something stupid. I'm trying to think of something that's not gonna offend people, but I'm saying it as a joke. Like I'll go up to someone and I can make a joke. I think I'm in the right to joke about this because this is my bubble. But I'll go up and be like, black and white people shouldn't date each other. And clearly I don't mean that because I'm married to a white man, bro. But it's just like, I just like to say crazy things to see what people will say. I still do that to this day. I think I tone it down now because most people cannot take a joke. But back in elementary school, or in middle school, god dang, back in high school, yeah, I used to just ask it all the time. Or say a bunch of random things just to see what people will say. So my teacher, Mr. B, we were in this math class. I think it was like a revision day. It wasn't like I was doing nothing. Oh, actually, more backstory to me. I used to joke a lot, I feel like if you ask certain people, they would say I was bad in high school. And I'm being so honest, I think I was disruptive. I'm not gonna sit here and say I wasn't disruptive, but I wasn't disruptive in a rude or like bad way. I would never yell at a teacher. I would never cuss out a teacher. I did not fight. I did not swear at teachers or students. I didn't do anything like that. I didn't throw stuff. I didn't get mad. The ways that I was disruptive was I would just joke. I would make jokes when sometimes I just shouldn't have been making jokes. And I look back on it, and in certain classes, I realized I could have been a little annoying to some people. But in other situations, it's just like, I don't know. I don't really see it as a bad thing because I had a sense of humor and I'd make the class laugh. Like, granted, I agree, it's not cool to disrupt all the teachers. But that's the thing. Let me not even try and, like, lie on myself. I never, like, if the teacher was talking, I wouldn't just out of nowhere blurt out something to get a reaction and make the class laugh. I was not like that. The only times I would make my jokes was during our, like, free time, whenever we had, like, downtime in class, or if we have, like, labs in science class where you're on your own to do independent work with yourself or your friends. Then I'd start to get carried away with my jokes, and eventually the teacher would just be like, okay, you're joking a little too much. Let's start doing more working and less joking. That's where my problem would come, when I wouldn't stop joking and start working. And I feel bad now because I might have disrupted other people, but it was never a problem for me because I passed all my classes. I got kicked out of this class in this story that I'm about to tell. I did get kicked out, so I had to redo it my senior year of high school. But it's like I passed all my classes and I had good enough grades that I got into college, bro. This is my college that I went to, so I was not no dummy. It's not like I was being disruptive and failing my class. Like, I was okay. But like I said, I'm an adult, and when I look back, I realize I probably did disrupt other people from getting their full learning potential. But everyone that I knew in every single class graduated. So at the end of the day, it's just like, I get that I was a little bit disruptive and I was always making jokes when I probably shouldn't have always been making jokes. But no one failed and didn't graduate from my jokes. So I don't know, part of me thinks about it and I'm like, dang, I could have toned it down. But another part of me thinks about it and it's like, I still talk to some of those people to this day and they always tell me how fun and just good vibes not just me, but like me and my friends and other people in those classes, it's always good memories. Like, no, I've never met anyone, unless they just have not told me, who was straight up like, oh, I hated you, you were the worst in the class, blah, 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 blah. So, hey, take that info as you will. Anyways, continuing with the story, it was 10th grade geometry class, and we have this teacher, his name is Mr. B, and I like to just talk, like I was saying, I just like to talk and ask questions, and, it's a teacher. I find it weird how teachers want to teach, but you don't know nothing about them. So it's like, here I am in this class listening to an adult teach me things, but I don't know who you are, and I don't know what your intentions are. Like, are you teaching me just to get your check? Because if that's the case, I mean, cool and all, but it's just like, I'm not finna pay you no much mind because I don't know you and you don't know me. That's why I love teachers that like get involved with their students. I'm not saying they need to know everything about your personal life, but they show that they care and they're obviously there to help you, not there to just get a check. So this teacher, Mr. B, he was one of those teachers. He was one of those teachers who didn't mind talking, and we would socialize. And to this day, I feel like if he still remembers me, and if I asked him, he definitely would say that he likes me he liked me as a student, but I was disruptive. But I still feel like he'd look at me now and be like, I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you're, out of your little goofy phase and you're just doing you and you're living life as an adult. I don't think he'd look back and be like, oh no, you were the worst student, or you were a bad student and I hated having you in my class. It wasn't that serious. And it's actually funny because after this incident, he was like a teaching assistant. I don't know. He used to come into that same geometry class that I had to redo senior year. He would come there and he saw me and he'd just be like, we just joke about it. He'd be like, you wouldn't be here if you weren't such a jokester in my geometry class. But it's also funny because he's friends with that teacher that I had senior year for geometry. They're friends, and he'd ask her, is she still funny and goofy and blah, blah, blah? And that teacher, my senior year geometry teacher, she was like, oh, she's still as funny and goofy as ever. But, she's also on top of her stuff and she helps the other kids. Yeah, okay. And I'll say it. I was that senior in a class full of sophomores because, like I said, I had to redo the class because I got kicked out, and it's a sophomore year class. But by that point, I was a senior, and yes, I would still joke around and be funny and stuff. But I also did realize that I'm the older person amongst a bunch of kids, and I feel like not everyone is the right person to be the goofy jokester in the class. I feel like some people do it and then still do bad with their grades. So I had a bunch of friends that were sophomores that I would help out with math, and they would some of them were from my basketball team, other ones were just that I've seen around, or like siblings of other people that I knew. So it wasn't like nothing, I wasn't in there just being the older kid that was always funny and messing around and hindering everything. I actually stepped up and was like, all right, let me chill out, there's other kids here, let me, get out of my business. Anyways, backstory aside, the actual story. 10th grade geometry class, I was talking to this teacher. The whole class he was telling us a story. I think he just came in the class. I remember it was a rainy day. I think he just came into the class and he was like, guys, like I have something to tell you guys. And we're all students, everyone's invested. We all want to know any little detail we can get about our teachers. So we're all sitting there like, oh shoot, what's going on? And so he tells us that one day he was somewhere in California. That was a safe neighborhood, might I add. He said he was out there and he was walking from whatever. I don't remember the specifics, but he's just like, I was walking from whatever, the coffee shop to the donut shop or whatever. And as I'm walking, this is what he's saying. He's like, as I'm walking, a man stole my watch. And he just leaves it at that. Me being me, I'm like, stole your watch? I'm thinking, okay, a watch. When you have a watch on, it either has the little strap that you tuck in, or it's like the little clip ones without the strap, like, I don't know, like a Rolex or something, you don't got the strap. You just put it on and it snaps in, right? And then when it snaps in, it's on your wrist. So the teacher said that a man stole his watch and ran off. So that I proceed to verbally ask him, how the heck did you let someone steal your watch? And he's like, he took it off my wrist. And so I'm sitting there processing, and I'm just like, how... Even if you have the button on one, how you let someone walk past you? Someone had to have scoped you out before you even got up to them, seeing that you had a watch. Then how did they get your arm? Like when I walk, my arms kind of swing. How are you standing still enough for someone to grab your arm and then keep it still enough to unclip the watch and take it off? And then if it's something like a Rolex, like unsnap it. I'm just thinking, how do you let somebody do that to you? You know, like how do you let somebody snatch your watch off your, that's like me saying, oh, someone stole the ring off my finger. How? Ain't no way you can just quickly walk past me and snap it off. It comes off, you gotta wiggle it and finesse it to get it off. So it's like, how you let someone just snatch something off your finger, right? And so I asked him that, and I don't even remember all the details, but I believe he was saying something along the lines of he was scared and it wasn't, well, nah, he didn't even say that. I'm pretty sure he said it was his grandfather's watch too. And I'm just like, nah, ain't no way you let some random man in one of the safe neighborhoods, by the way. It wasn't like it was some dingy, dirty, thieving neighborhood. He was in the broad daylight in one of the safest neighborhoods. And I'm not trying to say you can't get robbed in a safe neighborhood. My point in saying he was in a safe neighborhood is just that, I don't know, I feel like if he would have put up a fight, the person would have walked away. Because I lived in San Diego, California, bro. If you were in La Jolla and you were getting something stolen from you, if you made a big enough scene, ain't no one out there that is that grimy that's gonna continuously steal your stuff while everybody else there is watching, you know? So I'm just like, how you in this neighborhood and you let this man steal your watch? And I just remember I keep asking like little details to really comprehend. And I won't lie, with this specific story, I was trying to be funny and make a joke, but the teacher did not like it. And I just remember after like trying to get as much information as possible, I won't cap, I legit said, I'm not gonna lie, Mr. B, that's kind of a bitch thing to do. I did say that. It was wrong. I wasn't trying to call him a B word. I was trying to say like, it's a B that he got his watch stolen and he let it happen. Like I wasn't calling him that. I'm just saying the situation is just like, nah, man, couldn't be me, man. Letting someone steal my watch, that's bitch, man. You know, like that's what I was thinking. And I just look back on it, and I swear, like remembering it, and even in the moment, I never was trying to say it in like a mean way. I was just trying to say it to be silly, and the class did laugh. So you know, I got what I wanted. It was a laugh from my classmates, my friends. But I don't know why. It just struck a nerve in him, and he got mad. And I do remember, I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like I remember telling him, bro, I did not mean it. Like I was not trying to be rude or nothing, bro. Like you're a grown teacher, bro. Like you were a grown teacher. Who am I to be trying to like say anything about a grown man? I was just talking. I was yapping. I'm a little old high school girl chatting. So I just remember that. And I don't remember everything, but I do remember then like maybe the next day or maybe even the same week, I got a little paper that said I will no longer be in his class, and I have to go to the principal's office for like a week until they cleared it off my schedule. But high key, I mean, I'm not saying it's good to get kicked out of classes, but it freed up a period. So now I only had, my school was a charter school, so we only had 4 classes, and each class was like an hour and a half. So they took me out of that class my sophomore year. So I was a 10th grader, and I got out of school at like 1 o'clock, bro, like 12:30. So honestly, I wasn't even like twisted about it. And it's funny because if I wouldn't have gotten kicked out of that class my senior year, I wouldn't have had any classes. I wouldn't have had to go to school my senior year. I would have finished school early because I only had 1 class my senior year. And it was the math class I had to redo. Well, not the whole year, but like the last quarter. So like from after winter break to graduation, I wouldn't have had any classes. I would have finished school early, bro. So I was not a dummy, bro. I was on top of all my work. I did what I needed to do. I just got kicked out of that 1 class. But that's the story. That's all it really is. I called the teacher. Well, I didn't call the teacher, but I called the situation the B word. Teacher didn't like it. Got kicked out. I redid the class senior year, passed it with the name. So it's like, you know, it didn't affect me. And everyone that was in that class, there was like 3 people I think I still like know about. And I knew them after that class too, and they ain't saying nothing about it. They were just like, nah, you're crazy for that. Ain't no way he was, well, back then everyone was just like, nah, he's sensitive. But I ain't gonna say it now because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But you know, hey, that's what happened. But anyways, That's a story. That's it. Short, little, quick, little story. I'm okay. I went to college. I didn't graduate, so I guess I didn't graduate college. So maybe L story. Maybe it affected me. I really don't care. But you know, my voice, I'm losing it. It's raspy. I've kind of been screaming with the baby a lot today. But that's the story. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. And I'll see you guys in the next story time. Okay? Peace.